Hey Zala, what's going on, man? Sorry if this makes a noise when I'm using a pop filter, and it has a long-ass arm on it, and every time I hit it, it falls off, so I gotta put it back on my mic. But I think it makes like a scrunching noise or something. Bitcoin's getting nuked. What's going on, Kilgore? Another trade we missed because we're not a fucking robot and we had to sleep. Well, technically I'm in this trade, but I'm flattened because I'm long XBT, I'm short December. Which, by the way, we took over $150 slippage. That's how big of a move this was. I took $150 slippage. I think it was actually more than that. I think it was like 170. Nearly a $200 slippage on a market order while I was sleeping. So if you guys wonder why I don't like trading overnight, prime fucking example right there. So my loss would have been about, I think, it was like a little less than 1.5%. I think it was like 1.2, 1.3. With the slippage, our loss is now about 3.5. So, pretty annoying, but nothing you can do about it. It's a great example of, it's almost better if I just don't trade at all, like overnight. It's almost better if I just like close my positions, just completely reevaluate the next day. But you miss out on a lot of profit, obviously. So, same old, same old. It's been basically the story of our life all October. Hey, Keytoy, what's going on, man? We've got some major upgrades coming to Discord pretty soon. Probably be ready within the next few weeks. Gonna have some new alert channels. They're gonna be pretty badass. Another thing about Discord, if you guys signed up for a trial in the beginning of October, so a couple of you guys signed up in the beginning, I think, yeah, like 3 of you guys. 3 of you guys signed up in the beginning of October. Because October was so slow, we're gonna extend your guys' trial by like 2 weeks. Because October was our slowest month so far, and of course it was the first month that we did a trial. That's just basically our luck. So yeah, any of you guys who signed up for a trial in October, you guys will be getting a 2-week extension. Some things to look at here. We do have a massive bull div playing out on the hourly, or not playing out, but currently forming on the hourly and on the daily. So you want to keep an eye on those. We do have like a V reversal here on the order flow. You can see the POCs were failing, and now we're starting to rise. You do have a little bit of a pullback coming in though, so nothing too bullish just yet. Negative 200 million on the CVD, so most people are definitely selling here. You do have some buy walls starting to pile up around 72, but nothing really too crazy. This bull div is pretty significant on the 1 hour. But it's a really scary div to play because you had that massive nuke candle. So basically what we did, I'll go over our trade that we took before I went to bed last night. So I started to see this support come in, right? You have this pink box here that we drew on stream. We were watching these levels. We were watching for a support of these levels. We saw it touch that top of the box basically to the dollar on this candle and then start to bounce. So what I did was I took a 66% size position, so 2/3. I took a 2/3 size position, and then I placed my final piece to add the position during this little box here. So if we tapped this box, I would have added on to my position. So we would be in a 1x size position. So what I also did was I went ahead and put a trigger to go short on December if we broke the lows of that box, which we did. The problem is, look at where this order is, 78.95. I got filled at 77.30. $160 slippage. That's pretty hardcore. I got a 2% slippage on that trade. That's pretty ridiculous. It was a stop market, so that's why we had slippage. We would currently be up 5%, but we're only up 3%. So we added 2% to our loss on our long because we were not protected on that long. So currently we are holding the long and we're holding the short. Seeing a lot of buy pressure coming in here on Ethereum. Actually had a really good buy down here towards the low of Ethereum. Bitcoin's starting to look really scary though. Let's go ahead and let's clean up our chart here. I'm going to delete all of our levels. Yeah, I was using a stop market, so I had over about 2% slippage on my stop market, which is pretty hardcore. Yeah, look at this. We have our distribution playing out. We have the continuation phase. We had an accumulation here, short term, and now we're breaking downward, so very bearish here. We've already basically broke the lows. We do have a support still to be tested on this doji. Oh, actually was tested beautifully. So once again, if you guys use my doji system, if you guys watched my doji video, look at this doji here. You have that beautiful doji, and then look at where we bounced. We bounced right on that doji. So that's our last support here. If we lose this doji, we don't really have any fresh supports until like 57. We have some supports back here from 2018 that have already been tested. But if we're looking at fresh supports, clean supports that have not been tested, we do not have another one until we get down to 57. We've got a small one right here, but I would consider this one kind of the same support as that doji there. So not trying to scare you guys too much, but there's not a whole lot of support left. That sell signal on the daily, which we tried to trade, looking back at this is it's really fucking frustrating. It's really irritating to constantly get on stream and look back at all these trades that we missed, because if you guys have been following like each individual stream, you know what has been happening. So when we put out our monthly report for October, just looking at those numbers, you don't know kind of the story, right? But if you watch the stream, you see the story page by page. And the story is pretty ridiculous for October, because we tried to take this short. We damn near would have shorted the top. We tried to take this short. We got overloaded. It failed downward. Okay, fine. We tried to take this short. Missed it. We were sleeping. Okay, fine. We tried to take this short. Missed it. We were sleeping again. Pretty much every major move in October has been a 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. breakout. So unless you're waking up at like 6 a.m., you are not catching these moves. Or unless you're placing large trades overnight, which you guys know I don't do. I don't place large trades overnight. Excuse me. I did place a large trade overnight this time, and look what happened. We had 2% slippage and we got killed. So if you guys wanted an example of why I don't trade overnight, today is a perfect example of that. I'm a momentum trader above all else, and you can't trade momentum when you're sleeping. So nothing we can really do this month to kind of make up for what we've missed out on. Just kind of have to sit back and really wait for those clean trades. The 2 hour has no div, 3 hour no div, 4 hour no div, 8 hour small div, 12 hour small div forming, daily small div forming. Hey man, have a good dinner, man. I appreciate you stopping by for a short amount of time, man. I'm gonna have some new videos added on YouTube pretty soon, so you can catch up on those as well. I just went ahead before stream and made all the highlights, so now all I have to do is publish them to YouTube and then set their date, and then we'll be good to go. I'm probably gonna set one for Friday, so we'll probably publish one on Friday. Probably publish one on Saturday or Sunday, and then probably publish another one next week as well. But how's everybody doing? You guys trading the dip? You guys get killed, or you guys make the trade? How'd you guys fare on that sell-off? You had a complete reversal here. You had a nice little buy, or a nice little dip here. You shifted into a bullish delta. So you had a very bullish delta here, and then you instantly reversed on this candle, 74 million higher volume. This candle had more volume than all 4 of these, or all 5 of these green candles, not combined, but individually. And then once you lost the value area low of that candle, you really saw that nuke. And you went all the way down. 850 million. So if you guys watched the stream yesterday, I went back and watched the VOD to make sure I was talking about this. But if you watch the VOD from yesterday, I said below 8,000 was looking really ugly. Because if you were looking at all those people who bought the highs, if you got below 8,000, they were going to start to get liquidated. And that's exactly what happened. You got below 8,000 and you got liquidated. So even though we didn't trade this, we had a very good call yesterday on stream. So if you guys watched the stream, we did great analysis. And that's another thing that's really pissing me off, is like all of my analysis for October has been really good, been spot on. But our trade execution and our missed trades have just been completely ridiculous. You got killed. You took a short yesterday around 82.10, but closed it before going to bed. Going to bed at 80.30. I longed at 79.34, so we damn near longed the bottom here, and then it popped up, and then I went to bed, which really sucks because look at this trade. Look at this trade that I went to bed on. I basically longed the bottom, and then it pops up. And then it nukes when I'm sleeping. There's just no control over stuff like this. Unless you're a robot, you cannot control stuff like this. I go to bed with a really good trade. I have a stop loss in place to flatten me out. And then I just wake up and it's down here. Just sadly nothing you can do about it. That's trading. You have to prepare for the worst. And we're prepared, so at the end of the day, I could close both my trades. We'd only lose about 3% of our account, or probably even less than that. Probably, let's see. Yeah, less. Probably about 2%. So if I closed my trades right now, we'd lose about 2% of our account, which is not killer at all. That's not a big deal. The drawdown or the loss on our account is very minimal, but the opportunity cost is massive. Massive missed opportunity in October. If it pulls back here and holds this lower POC, this lower point of control, or even the value area low here, you could start to see a really nice reversal. It's hard to say at this point because there's so much volume on that down move. Online before 4, yeah, right? I didn't go to the gym, so I'm starting to go to the gym at night on Mondays and Wednesdays, so I'm on time, or at least decently on time. Where should we short again? It's really hard to say, man. It's really hard to say. Probably a clean break of this support on the doji below 73. You could try to short an early break of 74. Like I said, I'm a momentum trader. I really like seeing how momentum plays live. I don't like predicting things when I'm doing my momentum trading. I really like to see how the order flow is playing out. I like to see how the candles are forming. I really hate trying to predict moves like this. But yeah, I'd say probably a clean break of these lows, 74, maybe 73. You'd have to see how the volume and the momentum line up, though. Because like here, you have a massive bull div, so this could push back up to like 78. Could push back up to 78. But bull divs are typically not strong enough to halt very strong trends. So this is a very strong trend. It's going to continue downward. Yeah, the black bar on OTS on the daily and on the weekly. Looking back, I don't know why I'm trying to trade against the OTS on the longer time frames. I'm trying to do all these shorter time frame scalps, but the longer time frames on the daily are pretty clear that we're in a downtrend. You can see we've been black since this bar here, around 11,300. You had slight pullbacks, but really you never regained that trend. You never regained that bar. And then look at the weekly here. You have not been bullish basically since that bar. It's looking very bad. It's looking very bad. If we don't bounce here, we may be entering another bear market pretty soon. It's looking really bad, for sure. You have a bull flag here, breakdown, reaccumulation on the 50 moving average and on support, and now you're breaking down again. This is really where you need it to bounce. If you don't bounce here, it's looking really bad. Basically, you're not bullish until you get back above the pivot here, around 8,800. Yeah, look at the 3-day. You can see the 3-day was trying to hold the trail here. You had all these buy signals that gave you really nice trades, but then you lost the trail, and you've been black basically the entire way. It's extremely bearish. I'm trying to take all these low time frame trades like 1 hour, 4 hour, when I'd probably should be just paying attention to the longer time frames here. Daily, weekly, 3-day, they're all extremely bearish. So looking back at October, if we don't think about all the missed trades, all the trades that we did take, what we should have been doing is probably looking at a longer time frame. We should have avoided all the chop on the lower time frames, because that's all we were getting on the lower time frames. Nothing but chop. Look at how choppy this price action is. Just complete chop. So looking back at all the chop, we could have just gone to like a higher time frame and just traded the longer time frames. It really sucks. It's just amazing how different my mindset would be if my orders got filled and I wasn't sleeping and missing these trades. Because you got to think about, if I took this short and we didn't close, I would have never been longing these bottoms here. Or if I took this short, if I was able to get in on that short, we would have never been longing the bottoms here. It's just a completely different story if your orders get filled. It is a completely different story. But that's trading, man. You gotta learn to adapt. You gotta learn to switch it up. So like, this is such a clear breakdown. Like, if I'm awake for that, that's just such a clear short. I know it's easy to say it in hindsight, but I feel like I'm a good enough trader to know that you should not be longing. Like, I longed here down towards the lows. I was looking for a reversal. If you start to see a pivot and then a rejection of that 50 moving average, it rejects everything on my screen here. It rejects the 50, it rejects the 8, it rejects the trail, it breaks the pivot. You have a pivot form, you turn black. Literally everything on this chart is bearish. I like to think that I'm a good enough trader that I would have shorted this. But it's hard to say because it's hindsight. It's hindsight. I try to do a little bit of reversal trading. I counter traded the indicators. So that's another mistake if we were to chalk up our mistakes on this trade. I counter traded the OTS, which is usually why we're losing almost all of our trades, is counter trading the OTS. Counter trading the Momo, counter trading the OTS is usually the reason the trades are being beat. Let me mess with something real fast. Need to turn these alerts off. I see why I did that. Okay, I need to fix that. Give me a second. We're setting up a new system for our Discord. We're gonna have a lot more alerts coming to the Discord pretty soon. That's irritating. I don't know how to fix that. I'll mess with it. I'll mess with it off stream. Cancel all orders. Yeah, right, Sneaky. No strong buyers yet. Yeah, there really isn't a ton of buyers just yet. Ethereum saw like a 5% bounce, but Bitcoin only has like a 2% bounce. Surprised by how well altcoins have held up. I haven't taken a look at them. Are they doing all right? Yeah, they're not doing too bad actually. Not doing too bad. I agree. That's quite surprising. Bitcoin nuked like what? How big of a drop was that? Almost 10%. And these altcoins are holding. That's pretty solid. That's a good observation. I need those altcoins to fall apart. That'd be great. Yeah, I haven't been trading altcoins, so it doesn't really matter to me what they do. How did mana hold up? I've got some mana on my Coinbase. That's about it. Oh, mana got nuked. These new alerts that we're adding to Discord are going to make it a lot easier to trade on the go, like if you're mobile or just not at your computer. It's going to help me a lot. I'm going to be able to turn off a lot of my email alerts and stuff. I need to fix that as well. A few things I need to fix on that. You take a look at ENJ BTC. Let's take a look. Doesn't look too bad. Looks like you're breaking out of accumulation. You got some momentum coming in. If you get above this pivot here, you could probably really go for a run. The only drawing I have on the chart is this really old triangle that played out to the downside. Yeah, it looks pretty decent. Weekly's accumulating. Weekly's popping up in momentum, not too bad. How did Matic do if you have time? Might play the futures on FTX. Can't check. Yeah, let's take a look. Matic. Matic broke out pretty heavily in the last week. Still bull flagging. Did pretty well during the dip. Didn't dump at all, really. You got some buy signals coming out on the 4-hour. If it pops up here, you could see some momentum. You need to break above 184. You're currently at 178. So you do have some resistance, but you are definitely holding. No sell-off. Looks like just a little bit of distribution after a major breakout. So as long as you get back above that high of 191, you could really start to look for another leg up. You've got a pretty strong resistance back at this doji here, around 230. So if it broke this pivot, you could probably aim for 230, giving you about 20% gain. You have this pivot from way back here that acted as the high. Beautiful resistance there. Yeah, not looking too bad. Most of the altcoins held pretty strong. going off topic here, but it's quite hilarious, so I wanted to mention it. A little political as well, so get a little spicy, I guess. Justin Trudeau, I think I'm saying his name right, Trudeau, won the election again, so he's going to be the Prime Minister of Canada. We probably have some Canadians in here. I got a lot of Canadian viewers. He won the electoral vote, but he lost the popular vote, which is the complete opposite of what happened in the United States election when Donald Trump won the he won the electoral vote and lost, or sorry, it's the same thing that happened to Donald Trump. He won the electoral vote but lost the popular vote. So the liberals and the Democrats, the Democratic Party, was outraged. They wanted to abolish the electoral college. But for Justin Trudeau, he won the election based on the electoral college, but he lost the popular vote. It's pretty funny. Basically, both countries want to do away with their electoral college. Everybody hates the electoral college. Is that a bear div on ENJ15? Let's take a look. Yeah, you do have a slight bear div. Not the cleanest chart, though. You do have a slight bear div. Probably give you a pullback to around 762. It's pretty insane to see how much of a void you have here. God, my throat is killing me. Sorry, guys. It's pretty insane to see how much of a void you have here on this delta profile. You have basically no volume during this liquidation, all the way from like 78.60 all the way down to wherever we started to get some volume around 75.85, but basically anything above that you had basically no volume, just all liquidations. You can see you had the monthly value area low here and the weekly value area low. Once these were lost, it was complete move down. I wonder what this looks like on the delta chart. If we look at like a 1 million delta, probably looks disgusting because you had such a massive... Oh, let me go to void here. What the hell is going on here? Okay, 1 million is too small, obviously. Let's go... Or why is it tick 1? Let's go to tick 4. Let's go to 5 million. So yeah, even 5 million, you had a reversal there. You never regained it. Look at all these zeros. All these zeros are just complete liquidations, basically. Look at how choppy it got down towards the bottom. Very clean reversal on this candle here. 23 million. You had that nice V bottom, that nice piercing bottom. Hey, GG, what's going on? Good video. You're watching from France? Hey, man. That's awesome. I got a lot of European viewers. I think most of my viewers are actually European. A lot are in Britain, Denmark, France. I got a lot of Canadians, too. It's funny, I don't have that many American viewers. I think most of my viewers are outside of America. You're watching the replays? Yeah, it's awesome, man. There's a lot to be gained from a lot of my videos on YouTube. I'm glad people are finally watching them and leaving comments and letting me know like that it's helping them out in their trading. It really motivates me to continue to make videos and continue to stream every day. I'm really glad that I started pushing a lot of content on YouTube. Oh, your English is alright, man. I'm glad that I started pushing a lot of content on YouTube. The feedback on YouTube has been incredible. It's been way better than Twitch recently. If I keep going down this path, if this path continues the way it is, YouTube will outgrow Twitch very quickly. In the past like month or two, I've only gained about 100 followers on Twitch, but I've gained 500 subscribers just about on YouTube. So if I continue posting content on YouTube and it continues to gain traction, YouTube will outgrow Twitch very quickly. So who knows, man? We might become a YouTube main. I think YouTube is definitely where you want to be for trading stuff. Twitch is very, very small when it comes to trading. If you looked at a market share percentage of like trading viewers, Twitch probably has like less than 5%. Twitch is probably like less than 1%, honestly, but I don't want to say that low without having any statistics to back me up. But if I had to say, it's very, very small. Look at even the stock guy. He's like the biggest streamer right now, for the biggest real streamer for trading. There's a lot of other bullshit channels, but the stock guy is basically the biggest channel for trading right now. And I think he does about 200 viewers, maybe 150 viewers. So even his content, which is really good, if you guys haven't checked him out, his Twitch is the stock guy. He does stocks, obviously. But even him, even he only does like 150 to 200 viewers. And YouTube has thousands and thousands of people. Twitch has done really shit the last 2 years. They're doing pretty good in gaming. They're just not doing good outside of gaming. Ninja actually did not help Mixer at all. They released statistics on Mixer talking about the viewership gain or loss, the market share basically, and it actually went down. It went down slightly. So Twitch is still king when it comes to viewership like that. YouTube is still the biggest competitor. I think Twitch has about 30 or 60% of the market share. YouTube has about 30%, and then Mixer and other platforms have the remaining like 10%. But YouTube is definitely their biggest competitor. But it's not mainly because of streaming like what I'm doing now. It's mainly because of VODs. Silver? You mean Sliver? Isn't it Sliver, I think? Or is it Silver? Yeah, all these other platforms, they're so far behind, man. They would have to do something really crazy to catch up with Twitch. I don't think anybody will ever catch up with Twitch unless Twitch continues down this path of just complete nonsense with their policies and their bans and all this other bullshit they're doing. If they don't make any changes and they continue down this path, Twitch will begin to deteriorate and YouTube will begin to take over. But catching up to Twitch and YouTube is going to be very hard for like D Live, Sliver, Facebook, all those other companies. They're not really going anywhere. But back to trading here. We do have some buy walls coming in about 7,200. You got small walls down by 7,000 as well. You don't really have any sell walls coming in. You got a small sell wall around 77.80. Besides that, no real resistance moving forward. You have a massive exhaustion zone from that previous candle coming from 76 to 79. So if you were to pop up, you probably will start to fill that gap before you find any resistance. Most of this liquidation probably came from this guy here. We talked about this on stream yesterday. You had that massive buy wall come in around 8,100. Once that buy wall was filled, they were never in profit. They were negative the entire way. And then once they got nuked here, you saw massive liquidations come in from basically every low here that was not tested. This low got taken, that low got taken, this low, this low, this low. Oh, that was already taken, but for anybody that was trading this range here, they were using all of these lows as their stop loss, all of which got taken. So currently on my trades, my long is underwater 6%. So it seems pretty big, but my short is in profit 4%. So if I didn't take that 2% slippage on my short, we'd actually be about break even right now. That 2% slippage is what really got me. Because what also helped me here is XBTZ had a premium. You can see here, they had a premium of about $100. So when this premium closed, that gave me another boost of about 1% profit. So the only reason I'm negative right now is because of that slippage. Without that slippage, we would actually be break even or slightly profitable right now. Now I am looking for another move down to close my short. I don't know if I'll add on to my long or just let go of my long and start to build another long. It's hard to say. I don't really want to start building a long from 8,000. Because if you look at the daily, that's not a strong place to build longs. If you look at the entire time that you're above 8,000, it's not that big of a zone. You have your all-time high parabolic move, and then you have this tiny little move here. Every other move above 8,000 got nuked. So I really don't want to start building a long from 8,000. I definitely want to start building one from about 6,000. If we take a look at the volume profile from the bottom candle all the way to the current candle, we're currently just below the POC. The value area low is about 7,000. So if we start to break 7,000, that's when you begin to start looking really ugly. And you want to look towards like 5,000 for that major support. That lines up beautifully with that doji there. So if you're using a point of origin doji, your point of origin doji on the weekly would be about 5,300. Now you can see that you have a lot of resistance if we do push back up around that high volume node around 10,000. So the most volume we're seeing traded is where we basically currently are, around 8,000. Almost 8,000 on the dot is the POC here. You have a volume gap around 9,000 that could act as a resistance or a target moving forward if we do pop. You also have a gap down here around 6,400. Now if we pull this visible range back to, let's say, all the way back to the peak candle, we have a different story. We have a POC of 6,400, which is going to be your main price, basically because of that consolidation there, which also lines up with your value area low of that range. So anything below 6,400 is extremely bearish if you cannot regain the value area low on your first attempt. You have your value area high sitting at around 11,000. So that would be a major resistance moving forward if we were to pop back up. You also have a gap around 9,000 like we saw earlier, which will act as a target for a long. Now if we take the volume profile from the entire history of BitMEX, we also have a POC at 6,400. You have a major high volume node around 84, which acted as resistance here. You have a value area low at 6,000, and you have a value area high at around 11,000. So most of these levels are lining up with about the same levels. 6,400 to about 6,000 is support, 9,000 is your target for your long, and then about 11 to 10,000 is your resistance. If you're a long-term trader, those are your most important levels. Now, if we were to break below this 5,500, you do have a support around this 4,000 range. You do see this high volume node down here. You also have a gap right here that could be your target for a short around 47. But those are all the very important levels using volume profile. Now, if we looked at the volume profile from the peak of 2019 to the current candle, your POC would be at around 10,000 yet again, so that lines up with the resistance. You have a current gap around 9,000, that lines up with the other levels as well. And you have a value area low around 9,400, so basically everything lines up. 9,000 is your breakout target. 6,400 is your failure target, also your support. And then you have some resistance around 10,000 to 11,000. Let's take a look at the volume profile on Ethereum, because it's going to be very different on Ethereum. So if we take the low candle all the way to current price, your POC is around 135, so you're still below or still above your POC. Your value area high is 183, so that's going to act as a lot of resistance like we saw here on this previous pullback. You can see how it lined up there. We also have a small gap where it currently is, not a very big gap though. You have a bigger gap around 113 that could act as your short target. Besides that, there's really no volume. There's no volume nodes that are too significant here. Now, if we take it to our high of 2019 to current price, we're looking at a POC of 178.50. Lines up with that resistance. You have a complete gap around 250, 260-ish. Value area high at 216. Value area low at 165. So if you can't regain 165, it's looking pretty bad for the bulls. Funny thing is, you actually have not turned black on the OTS here. You have a long period of kind of neutral choppiness, which is very uncommon on the OTS, but you do see it here on Ethereum. The daily's been black for quite some time. You had that black reversal here and here, which led to that massive downtrend here. Any questions about anything long-term on Bitcoin or Ethereum? Let's take a look at the order flow here. Still pretty bearish on the Delta 5 million, so showing that there are a lot of sells coming in. If we take a look at the 1 hour, POC is still decreasing. Our daily POC is basically right at price currently. You have a ton of trapped sellers here, so if you do push higher, look at all these trapped sellers. They all sold the bottom. You see this red imbalance here? These are trapped sellers. This is one of the reasons why I started longing around 8,000. So this is what I was looking at 8,000. You had a similar setup. You had that nuke, trapped sellers, nuke, trapped sellers, trapped sellers, trapped sellers. So basically all these sellers were getting trapped as price was rising, but we were not able to really push higher to really trap those sellers. It was only about a $30 trap, so not enough to really get them to start closing their trade. This is a lot different. This is a trap at 7,300 when we're currently at almost 75. So you're definitely seeing a lot of underwater shorts, because none of these guys are in profit. If they shorted the bottom here, they're not in profit. There was no chance for them to be in profit. They have been negative since they opened their trades. We trapped some buyers on the nuke. Not really, I don't think. It was mostly sell action. Let's take a look at it. It'd probably be easier if I tighten this up. Let's go to like 10 tick. Yeah, not really, no. You had small 9 million there. They got destroyed. 500,000. 8.6, 6.4. Yeah, you have some decent actually. 25 million here. So these guys got trapped if they didn't close on this pullback here. They're about break even, so they're not currently too underwater, but if they closed here, they took a pretty big loss. But yeah, most of these buyers are profitable. These buyers here are profitable. They're profitable. They're profitable. These guys are profitable. These guys are underwater. These guys are underwater. These guys are underwater. Not a whole lot, though. You had a lot of small ones here. They got destroyed. There's no way they're still holding. Unless they're like me, where they hedged. Because you have a lot of buyers here. They got nuked. This looked like a good reversal. It was really starting to form into a good reversal. And then you had a clear rejection of the reversal here. Which sadly was at 7 a.m., so I was sleeping, obviously. I know I'm starting to sound like a broken record, fucking making excuses about me sleeping, but it's not really an excuse if there's nothing I can really do about it. I'm not a robot. I gotta sleep sometime. Any comment on why open interest is still increasing on that large of a move? 200 million liquidated, only 75 million open interest move, and it's rising because massive people are probably buying the dip. The mentality for Bitcoin of 2019 has been basically buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. Everybody's been waiting on a major dip to buy. That's probably why the open interest is not moving that heavily. The only people who are getting liquidated are people who bought too early. So as price is falling, it's filling a massive amount of buy orders. That's why the open interest is probably staying relatively high. Isn't open interest fucking really low compared to what it was a few months ago? Open interest currently is at 175 billion with a B. Wasn't it like 3 times that like a few months ago? Or am I thinking of something else? I think Skew might have data on this. Let's take a look at Skew. Here's the open interest. Let's see how far back it gives us. Oh, it's not going to give us a date or a date range. Aggregated daily volume is still going down, actually. We saw about, what, 150 million? 150 million licks there, another 100 million there. You had a ton of liquidations. I don't know how to look at the total. Oh, here you go, total. 300 million. Or no, sorry, buy liquidations, 1.6 million. What is that? I think that's the current candle. That's the current candle. I don't know how to look at the total of the entire move. That's a lot of licks? Yeah, exactly. It is a lot of licks. Yes, does anybody know of a chart that gives you a lot of data on open interest, like a dating back a few weeks, maybe a few months? This is only relative data, it's only short-term data. Yeah, it's pretty sad that the volume here, it says that the volume is basically where I stream. Like, it says that the majority of the volume during the day is basically when I'm streaming. From 12 to... So yeah, from 12 to 4. But that's not when the majority of the breakouts are happening. The majority of the breakouts are happening around 8 a.m. like it shows here. 8 a.m., 5 a.m. You see these volume spikes? These are typically the breakouts. This might have the most volume, but if you look back at a chart and look at the breakouts, that's not typically when the breakouts are occurring. London Open, yeah, exactly. We were talking about this the other day. London Open and U.S. Open, when they tie together, you get those major moves. UTC is plus 4 hours Eastern. Yeah, so I'm plus 4. Yeah, but that chart is... I think I was doing it right. Was I looking at the chart? Was I looking at the volume wrong? Yeah, so plus 4. So at 12, this would be like 4 o'clock. So that's what I was saying. So like right... So yeah, this isn't 8 a.m. Sorry, it's not 8 a.m. for me. So looking at a chart... Sorry, something on my monitor. Looking at a chart, this is like 4 p.m. So like 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m. So basically towards the close of the day. And then it dies off. And then it picks up basically right when I'm going to bed. And then you have those massive spikes while I'm sleeping. So if you look at this chart, the time that I'm on the PC is pretty good. I'm on the PC at a good time to trade. But that's just based on volume. If you show this same chart based on price moves or like breakouts or volatility, this is going to be a different chart. Because I'm on the PC basically during the spike of the volume during the day, but that's not when we see the spike in the breakouts. Like, look at this move starts at around 7, 8 a.m. This move starts at 7, 8, or 8 a.m. Let's look at this move. This move's 1 a.m. This move's 8 a.m. This move's 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. That's about 1 a.m., I believe. Yeah, about 1. Or sorry, that's about noon. Let's see, you have about noon again. And then that's a good move. That's like 4 p.m. Another 1 a.m. Another 8 a.m. Another 3 to 8 a.m. So it's literally... It lines up perfectly with my sleep schedule. Perfectly as in the sense that I'm fucking sleeping when this is happening. Not perfect as in the sense that I'm awake. It sucks, man. And I know if I start going to bed early and I start waking up about 6 a.m., 7 a.m., getting ready for these trades, it will start doing what it's used to doing and start breaking out around daily open or daily close. It's just a lose-lose, really. I need to develop a strategy that is basically geared towards overnight trading. But it'd be really hard to do that. It would probably be something based on like a daily time frame. So I don't really give a shit what happens in between the day. It'd probably be like looking for trades during the daily close and then holding them throughout the entire period that I'm sleeping, basically. That could be something that we look into. I've never really developed a strategy for overnight trading. Most of my trading is momentum trading when I'm sitting at the computer, or even like hedge trading. I've never really developed a strategy for like super long-term trading that you just hold for a very long time. Is anybody in here using exo charts for order flow? You guys have any tips or tricks? It's a pretty new platform, so basically nobody's using it. This is a beautiful reversal candle. You see that failure downward? You have that V reversal, massive buyers towards the top side of that candle, and then you have the POCs rising, 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 all the way up. It's a beautiful reversal. So basically, order flow traders, if they saw a bunch of buys towards the highs here, which you kind of have a slight buys here, you start to see these POCs fail, so you have that bearish momentum. If you shorted here, you'd basically be looking for a stop loss above these highs and a flip to go long if you see a break of these value area highs. Because you do have a lot of buyers getting kind of trapped here and here. Yeah, you have a lot of volume up here. A lot of volume here as well being tested currently. If Russia is by far the largest player, I wonder when their market opens. Seems Asia does very little these days. Yeah, and Asian markets don't really push too much. I mean, you have like the afternoon trading. You have a lot of afternoon trading in Asia. So like if you look at the London Open and the US Open, that's basically the afternoon towards the close of day for Asia. What time is it? I gotta get going here in about 5 minutes. I gotta leave at 5 p.m. Gotta go run some errands. You guys have any final requests or anything? If you guys missed the beginning of the stream, we have some major updates coming to the Discord very soon. We're gonna have a lot more alert channels that are going to use our indicators to post alerts live, basically. So keep an eye on that. They're going to be coming probably in the next few weeks. Probably before the start of November. No promise. We got to do a lot of testing. But we do have a lot of stuff coming very soon, so keep an eye on Discord. As I said, anybody who signed up for a trial in October, we're going to be extending your trial by 2 weeks due to the slowness of October. Really, it's our slowest month yet, and of course, it's the first month that we did our trial. So we're going to be extending the trial by 2 weeks for anybody who signed up in October. So don't worry about that for you guys. And that's basically it. That's basically all the announcements we have currently. Tomorrow we'll be doing our... Which videos do we had planned? We had swing failure patterns and dojis. So tomorrow we'll do the swing failure pattern video. And then Friday we will do the doji video. So if you guys want to come by and check those videos out live, make sure you stop by around 3 or 4 p.m. Eastern. Trial for the Discord. Visiting the 6K area or even below would look nasty on the daily and weekly charts. Don't you think it's too early to go there? I agree, man. I think it's really ugly if we break this 7,000, like 7,400. But there's no buy pressure, man. There's buy pressure from like retail guys like me, but there's really no buy pressure coming in from big players. You had a lot of buy pressure come in up here, but they got destroyed. Look at all these buyers that came in. They got obliterated. You have some buy walls stepping in here around 72. If these buy walls don't hold up, it's looking really bad. But alright guys, I gotta get out of here. Tron or TRXC quad MACD bull div. I always say Tron. TRXC. Is that a stock? Yeah, it's bleeding out like crazy. Hey, remember what I said though, man. Bull divs and bear divs are not going to be strong enough to halt a very strong trend. So if this is a very strong downtrend, which it is, bull divs are it's gonna take a lot to stop this thing from bleeding. I don't trade stuff like this. This thing's bled from $7 down to 30 cents. That's not my style of trading. This is gambling. I don't trade stuff like this. But alright guys. Make sure you guys stop by tomorrow. We'll be going over swing failure patterns. We'll be looking at Bitcoin and Ethereum as always. And then Friday we're going to be going over our doji system. We already have a video on the doji system on YouTube. We're going to be doing a second video on Friday. So Tron's a shit stock also. Exactly, man. It's funny as hell. Alright guys, you guys have a good day. If I don't see you tomorrow, I'll catch you guys Friday. But alright guys, peace out. Have a good one.